thanks so much for coming in and checking out this video. So this video is going to be talking about my first consultation, my, coming to my doctor, telling them that I was, definitely a little bit fearful and anxious because I had been told it was gonna be super hard for me to get pregnant, and how that went. So on June 26th, I had my first consultation with my partner, and it was through Zoom because we are living in a time of COVID. And so any doctor's appointments that don't necessarily have to be in office are through Zoom calls. So I met with my doctor, the fertility clinic doctor, and I, told her that, we were trying to conceive and that I wasn't sure what my options were because I had been told that because I had PCOS, it was going to be really difficult, and that ideally I would love to be able to do an IUI insemination, but that depending on, what they found or my potential options, like obviously I'd be open to trying other things, but that was what I initially wanted to go ahead and try to do. So my doctor talked to me and she asked me a couple questions, specifically, my age, how I was diagnosed before, when was the last time I had gotten tested, things like that. So I had told her, it'd been a couple years since I was diagnosed with PCOS and that I hadn't really done anything else besides take birth control. And she was extremely optimistic. She was like, "You're young, I wouldn't be too worried." She's like, "Yep, we'll try an IUI cycle or we'll try a couple IUI cycles and get you on letrozole. We found that letrozole works best with women who have PCOS." But she was like totally chill, wasn't stressing, and that put me at so much more ease than I was because, like I said, I had been told for a long time that it was gonna be really difficult for me to get pregnant. So the fact that this fertility clinic doctor was like not that worried was super awesome. So after that consultation, I went ahead and started taking prenatal pills. I think they say that if you can to take them at least 3 months before. At that point was when we had made the decision that for sure we were going to try to conceive, so I wanted to go ahead and start taking those. There'll be another video about all the products that I use, but for now I'll just say prenatal pills. They're actually gummies, they're pretty good. But yeah, so I took the prenatal pills and then I started acupuncture, and I'll talk about that in another video too. So between the prenatal pills, the acupuncture, and stopping my birth control pills, I was getting my body ready to get pregnant. So that was my first consultation. At that point, she said the next steps would be to wait until my next cycle started. Because I didn't really get a period and because I was stopping my birth control, I knew that I wasn't probably gonna get one for a while. So I had told her that, and I had told the nurse that, and they said, "Okay, well, that's fine. We want to at least give it 40 days to see if you'll get a period, and if not, you'll come in after the day 40. So I was like, cool. So the plan was to go ahead and wait until I got a period or day 40 of my cycle and to go in and get an ultrasound and blood work done. So got through those first steps, did that consultation. Now it comes to day 40. Like I said, I didn't expect to get a period. I didn't get a period, but I did call and they were like, "No worries, come in. Let's go ahead and do some blood work and let's go ahead and do an ultrasound just to see where you're at." So I went in on July 23rd and they did an ultrasound and they checked my levels. And so specifically they were checking for my progesterone levels, my estrogen levels, and my HCG. And so at that time, when I had the ultrasound, I was a little nervous because I hadn't had an ultrasound since that 2 years back when I got diagnosed with PCOS. So I wasn't sure what they were going to find or if they were going to tell me bad news, good news, or whatever. So I was a little anxious, and especially too because of COVID, since my partner can't go, I did go alone. So I was a little anxious. But I had the ultrasound, and when I was in there, I'll go ahead and play you a clip of what that went like. But essentially, the nurse who was doing the ultrasound, she had said that she didn't see that I had like a classic case of PCOS, and that if I hadn't told her that I had been diagnosed, that she might have not even guessed that. So that was a little bit interesting to me because when I had got diagnosed with PCOS, they didn't tell me specifically like, oh, you have such a bad case of, cysts on your ovaries. I didn't know anything about my ovaries and the cysts or anything like that. All I knew was that I probably had it in that my testosterone level wasn't that bad and that I probably had a mild case. But that was pretty much as I was told at that point. So once she did the ultrasound, and I'll play that for you now.
Okay. Boring would be great. Okay, boring is good.
And facial would be pretty
Yes,
boring.
it is. That's good. Okay, we like that.
I mean, that's my assumption.
Yep, I will tell you momentarily. Yep. Alright, if you do have pain, let me know. This is probably cold, so. Hands are falling down. Everything's a mess. Oh my god. Can't breathe. Hands are falling down. Okay. Scoot down for me a little bit. Okay. Alright, yeah, this is probably cold. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Just pressure.
Yep, no problem.
Alright. It's gonna jab here. Hold on. Okay. You okay?
Yep, I'm good.
Alright. Where are you? Might help. We'll find you. There you are. Okay. Yep, uterus looks good, and I see a right over you. Boom, all in one picture. So it's good. Pretty boring. Yes. What are you laughing at?
It's just
Does
crazy.
it look like your uterus?
I haven't seen it before. So
Oh, really?
The last
Oh.
ultrasound I had, I couldn't see
Really?
anything.
Okay.
It wasn't here. It
Well,
was a
people
couple
look at
years
this and they're
ago.
like, I don't know what the hell. She's
Yeah.
just making up crap, you know? This is your ovary. I mean, today there's really not much to see, so
Yeah.
it does look like a bunch of blobs, you know? But once you start medication or, your ovaries follicles start getting bigger,
Yeah.
you'll see more. But this is your ovary, and these black, there's like little holes here. Those are your follicles. That's where the eggs come from. So those will grow as you get closer to
Yeah.
ovulating. Today, we want them all small. So obviously you're not ready to ovulate quite yet. So this is good, and we'll get lefty.
So, I don't know
Lefty's
if you
good
can
too.
tell me, but so I was diagnosed with PCOS.
Okay.
Do you see?
I mean,
Is
would I
that just
call you
like-
that? I guess I would call. I guess you could. Do you still get periods though, right? Like,
No.
no, you're not getting any periods.
Unless I'm on birth control. then
Okay.
I
I mean,
do,
I
but-
guess you could. Yeah. You don't look like the textbook PCOS person,
Okay.
So you could have like a mild case of it. You do have a lot of little follicles, which are fine. Those black little holes. Usually, I mean, it has a look, like
Yeah.
PCOS. You don't have that look.
Interesting.
Um,
They did tell me like my levels were pretty mild. so-
okay, that's good. So maybe it's just like sometimes they give you that and they like don't know what else to give you. They're just like, oh, let's call it PCOS, But so I could say like a mild. I mean,
Yeah.
with PCO, like the textbook look of it, it's gonna sound really weird, but call it like a pearl necklace,
Yeah, yeah.
where all the follicles, all these little black holes, continually connect and they go around your ovary.
Interesting.
Do you look like that? No, not
Okay.
necessarily,
Okay.
But could you have a mild case?
Sure.
No,
Gotcha.
I'll get ready again too. No, it doesn't. Because when you scan somebody, you're like, dang,
Yeah.
I would not say that for you. You're just probably young and have a lot of follicles, But sometimes they're like, oh, PCOS.
Interesting. Yeah, the last ultrasound I had, she didn't say anything.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure like what.
Yeah. See,
I
even
looked
righty.
like.
Yeah, righty. I wouldn't write that. Like if you
Okay.
never said anything, I wouldn't be like, oh, she's definitely
Interesting.
polycystic ovaries. No,
Okay. Well, that's good
no,
to
I
know.
really wouldn't. I just think you're young and have follicles. Okay, that's a good thing. No, polycystic ovaries usually they're giant, like big ovaries,
Yeah.
and there's like 30 follicles.
Yeah.
Like massive amounts of follicles. It's just like a lot. So I would never. No, I wouldn't call you that. Does that do everything? I don't know. I think so. Yep. Yeah, you're all good.
Thanks.
Nope, looks fine.
So like as you can tell, like she was saying something that was great, like awesome. I didn't have that bad of a case. That's great. was what I wanted to hear. So that was definitely a relief. But still, you know, I was still being cautious at the time because, like I said before, like my mom had a lot of infertility issues, so I didn't want to get my hopes up. So the test that I got back, I got those results back that same day, and they found that my progesterone levels were at 0.17. I'm just gonna read these off here. We're at 0.17 ng per milliliter. I think that's what ml is for in this case. My HCG was less than 0.2, and my estradiol was, I think it's estradiol. I know it's a form of estrogen, but I don't know the exact way to say it. But anyway, that was 55.8. So after I got those results, they messaged me in my portal and had told me that it looked like my levels were about a day 3 of my cycle, and remind you that I was on day 40 of my cycle at this point. So they were like, yeah, it doesn't look like you're gonna get a period. We're gonna go ahead and prescribe you a pill called Provera for you to go ahead and get your period. So a recap of this was that my ultrasound looked fine. It didn't look like I had a classic case of PCOS, and that I didn't get my period, and so they were gonna make me get one. So that's the end of this video. Follow along to hear about my specific experience with Provera.